For takeouts, call 765-1900.
Mostly cloudy skies today with a high of 76 and a light and variable wind. Tonight, cloudy skies gradually clearing, overnight low of 50 with a 70% chance of showers. Sunday's weather sunny and 69. Monday sunny and 75. Tuesday sunny and 79. Wednesday sunshine and 80 degrees. Thursday sunshine and 84 degrees. And on Friday sunshine and 85.
And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Streets, we have 67 sunny degrees here on Saturday. Welcome to Kevin's Sports Show. As always, I'm joined by Patrick Holland. Pat, good morning. We have a very special show today, Pat.
Good morning, Kevin.
All right, we're going to jump right into it. We have our high school football preview show. Our high school season kicks off next Friday night with Tolman going to Lincoln High School on September 13th. We have 3 Burrillville games on the schedule, and we are joined by Burrillville coach Gennaro Ferraro. Gennaro, are you there?
I am.
Thank you so much for joining us, Gennaro. I really appreciate it. Right off the bat, Gennaro, I have to thank your assistant coach, Andrew. Always giving me the most up-to-date stats on the team, the proper pronunciations for when we go on the air. A specific example, it's not Jolinus, as I found out. It's Jolinus, and that was pointed out to me. So thank you so much for providing Andrew to us these last few years that I've been doing the game.
Yeah, he does a great job, takes a lot of pride in that, and that's important for our kids as well. So he does a great job as well as the other coaches.
No, you're a tremendous staff. You guys have always been very hospitable towards me and Brendan and maybe Lou Mandeville. I've done a game or two with out there. It's just been great to have those stats because it makes us sound like we know what we're talking about, Gennaro.
Yes, sir.
So I'm joined here by Pat Holland. Pat, you have the first question for Gennaro?
Yeah, hey, Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Why don't you just give us a little bit of background on yourself? How long you've been at Burrillville, and how many years you've been head coach?
Yeah. Let's see. I've been teaching at Burrillville for 28 years, and this is my 27th season coaching at Burrillville.
Wow.
The last 16 being the head coach.
Wow, that's impressive.
Wow. So how's that going? Have you enjoyed every single minute of it, Gennaro?
I mean, it's a dream come true to be able to, coach, teach, and live in the same town is really what, an educator's dream for me anyway, and people who, want to raise their children that way. The education field has a lot of opportunities to be able to help people, and
Sure.
Teaching and coaching in the same town, I believe, gives you the best chance to do that.
And a tremendous legacy of Burrillville Bronco football too, and you've done a great job carrying on that legacy. Next question for you, Gennaro. Last year you were 6-5 in Division II. This year they're bumping you up to Division I. Obviously, with some tough games against some tough teams. How are you preparing for the transition? How do you think the transition will go, getting bumped up to Division I?
Yeah, I mean, the preparation is pretty standard, no matter what competition you have. I mean, you always strive to, when you prepare to win, you check off a lot of those boxes that will get you prepared to compete at whatever level, in trying to do it the right way. But, the transition this year, we should be, pretty competitive. We have an older team that's been playing for 3 years, provided that, we stay healthy. But then, next year will be a big change in our roster, so that'll be probably a more challenging situation.
Now, and just off of that, I believe when you transition to Division I like that, that's a 2-year minimum. So does that really hurt you next year with a very young team? Because you had mentioned the 3 varsity starters coming back. I don't want to look past this year, but for next year, is that going to be really difficult for you? You think?
Yeah, I mean we're going to have major changes at major positions, so. That transition, being in Division I, you don't have time to have transitional years
Right.
of competition, and their rosters are twice as big as ours, and so they already have 2 starting quarterbacks. They have 3 starting running backs. You know, we have 1 starting quarterback, 1 starting running back. So, like, you know, in order to hopefully coaches we will do a good job through this season in developing the younger talent, so that next year they'll be ready to take on that challenge.
No, understandable. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, that's right. That's really the name of the game, especially in high school athletics, right? Developing the younger talent. You can't rely on, you know, hey, we got this good group of a nucleus of freshmen, and you know we're going to have them for 4 years, but you don't continue to develop the you know the players coming in behind them. So this year you have three-year varsity starters coming back. Who, you know, can you just talk about a couple of your, you know, your key players and you know what they mean to the program? And
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I mean, we have, you know, Logan Gelinas, who's a 3-year starter at quarterback. He's going to be a key component. We have, you know, Leland Kelleher, who again will be a 3-year varsity starter, and those guys will be 2-year captains for us. But they're going to be a key part of the offense, and you know, Leland is a key component of the defense as well. We have Jack DeCaro, another 3-year varsity starter, who's going to be instrumental on both sides of the ball. You know, we have, you know, Norman Soulier. We're going to have Riley Hebert. You know, we're going to have a bunch of seniors that have played a while, and be able to contribute and help us make a push in this new challenging division, and hopefully continue the legacy that we hold very, very special in our hearts as Burrillville football. We got Kyler Fade, you know, an all-state lineman coming back. Yeah, so I mean, those guys have been playing the most out of all the seniors. So we're going to rely on them a lot.
Oh, that's great. Of course. And now, last night you had your injury fund game. I understand you won that one 14-13. Opening kickoff, brought back for a touchdown. So that's a good way to start the season, albeit preseason though.
Yeah, no, that was exciting. Jack Beluzzi, sophomore, his first varsity touch was an 85-yard, you know, shot out of a cannon. That was a lot of fun. That was exciting. But yeah, and then we had agreed, the coaches on the other side, the Johnson coaches and I are really good friends. We had decided that we were going to play the JVs in the second half, but this year was the first year it was a full game.
Right.
Usually the injury fund is 2 12-minute quarter stop time. They wanted to try a full game of 10-minute, you know, 4 10-minute running quarters, you know, with running time.
I was reading Brendan Begeer's article in the Blacksville Valley Call-in-Times. He was not a fan of the 4 10-minute quarters running time. What were your thoughts?
It was a disaster.
Okay.
Duly noted.
Was it just did it just feel too rushed?
We had 4 snaps on offense in the first half. So
Yeah.
you know, I went over and asked, you know, the other coaches if we could just continue with the varsity in the third quarter, and we did. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not, you know, running time in a varsity game is not real football, and it was just not. Yeah, it wasn't good. So we'll have to try to address that for next year.
Do you, you know, in hindsight now, do you find that you got more? I don't know if you had any joint scrimmages, but if you, you know, in your practices, did you get more out of your practices and potential joint scrimmages than you did out of yesterday's game?
That's what the coaches said. We would have rather scrimmaged them,
Right.
than did it that way.
Right.
Because it's just not real football. And I think it was, you know, a waste of resources and time.
Wow. Okay. Hopefully it's just, and if the other coaches agree, hopefully it's just a 1-year experiment, you know, for everybody involved. So yeah. So Pat.
Yeah, Coach. Any you know, your seniors that are, you know, obviously this is their final season. Any of them, obviously, probably most of them are looking to play at the next level. Anyone you could talk to, and if you know, maybe which ones they might be?
Yeah, so the two, the two that want to play college football are Logan and Leland. And Jack DeCaro is going to play. He committed to play baseball at Rick, which is
nice.
exciting.
They're good. Yeah, they have a good program.
Yeah, they do. There are a couple other guys that showed some interest, but in terms of like serious interest, those two guys, want to see if they can continue at the next level. So, it'll be exciting for them. And typically, as much experience as those two, as all of my seniors have had, you typically see a big jump between junior and senior year. That's where the weight room really kicks in. It's where the football intelligence, the IQ of the game really shines through with all that experience. So hopefully they'll, if that's what they choose to do, we'll certainly help them as we have done with all Broncos in the past to find them a home.
Would you say that, I'll just speak to Logan and Leland specifically. Do you see D3? Do you see D2? D1? Have you heard of any interest yet? Specific interest?
The other one is Riley Hebert as well,
Right,
linebacker and tight end. I know he wants to play as well. But, in terms of like, I believe Logan's had a couple of offers from UMass Dartmouth and
Nice.
Mass Maritime Academy.
Nice.
And I believe maybe one, in Husson, I believe, Husson University.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're not, no Division I, no Division II. I mean,
Right.
Those guys will be very good Division III players, and but the most important thing, how we guide them is you got to make sure it's a good academic fit first, and make sure that you're going to get out of there with what you need to set up for your future. And have football be a vehicle to get you to that spot.
As the parent of two D3 baseball players, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And going through the process myself now with my daughter, it's the same thing. Like, don't go to the school for athletics. Look to go to the school for what you want to do. And then if you have the opportunity to play there, great.
Academics first.
Right.
So
That's a bonus. Right.
So, Gennaro, Brendan McGarry and I will have 3 of your games this season. We got your home opener against Pilgrim on the 28th at noon. We got your homecoming game against Westerly at 11 on October 26th. And then we got the following week against a tough Central team, also at noon. So, if you could just make sure the Lou Mandeville Rock in the corner of the end zone is ready for us. Hopefully things are going to move forward on your new football field. I understand things are a little bit stalled right now, but hopefully things are moving forward on that in the way that you want it to go. So
Yeah, we hope so. That way you guys can have the Lou Mandeville press box.
I would love to have the Lou Mandeville press box. I could see the game so much better than the Rock, but we have a good time up on the Rock. We just gotta get your concession stand to throw over a hot dog to us or a hamburger because it smells so good when we're right there. So every once in a while. So Gerard, thank you so much.
Reach into your pockets, reach into your pockets. Go over there,
Gotta support the team. I know. Gerard, thank you so much.
You guys always do a great job of promoting our kids and our program, and we really appreciate the work you do. And keep going because it's all about the kids.
All right. No, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. And best of luck this year. And I'm sure I'll be talking to Andrew in a few weeks with the updated stats and everything. So.
You know it. All right, guys.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Gennaro Ferrara from Burrillville High School joining us on the phone lines on our first annual high school preview show here. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Pat Holland had the opportunity to interview Josh Lima from Cumberland High School's coach. And when we come back, we'll be playing that interview for you. So we'll be back right after these messages.
ON 1240.
Stress-free car shopping is what you will encounter at Tasca Buick GMC of Woonsocket. In stock is the latest Buick and GMC models like the Buick Encore GX, Envision, GMC Sierra 1500, Acadia, and Terrain. Tasket Buick GMC of Woonsocket has a wide selection of pre-owned automobiles. These vehicles undergo many point checks before going on sale. Plus, they come with a warranty and an auto check certified history. Check out the entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars online at TasketBuickGMC.com. Tasket Buick GMC, Thornton Drive, Woonsocket. You will be satisfied.
At North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care, you'll always be seen by a board-certified physician who'll diagnose your minor illness or injury. Their services include treatment for flu, fractures, rashes, ITU infections, and work-related injuries, plus physicals, vaccinations, and drug screening. North Smithfield Urgent Care, Great Road, North Smithfield, and Lincoln Urgent Care, Wake Robin Road, Lincoln. X-ray and lab on premises.
Welcome to summer, and John Moran of AJ Moran Incorporated says now is the time to get those projects done that you've been putting off. Masonry, patios, walkways, hardscape, and landscape. AJ Moran will work with you to create the design that you want. Your web destination to contact AJ Moran Incorporated is ajmoraninc.com or search AJ Moran Incorporated on Facebook. AJ Moran Incorporated has been servicing Massachusetts and Rhode Island for more than 30 years. Contact John Moran at 781-267-6827. 781-267-6827. AJ Moran Incorporated.
The world-class distributor of all things electrical is Electrical Wholesalers. They are a full-service electrical distributor with branches throughout Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Locally, they're at 113 Clinton Street next to KFC here in Woonsocket, with other locations in Cranston and Franklin, Massachusetts. Electrical Wholesalers provides the highest quality service to electrical contractors as well as residential, commercial, and industrial customers. Electrical Wholesalers is open Monday through Friday, 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Visit ew-ne.com. Electrical Wholesalers.
And welcome back to Kevin Sports Show with Pat Holland. As mentioned earlier, Pat had the pleasure of interviewing Josh Lima, the head coach of Cumberland High School, and we're going to play that for you right now.
I'm here today at Cumberland High School with Coach Josh Lima. Josh, thanks for taking the time to meet with us. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been at Cumberland, and how long you've been coaching?
Yeah, so it's my 11th year now as the head football coach here at Cumberland High School. Prior to being at Cumberland, I coached 1 year at Portsmouth High School under Tim Cohen, who was the head coach at LaSalle Academy when I played. So, Coach Cohen was my head coach and brought me in as a volunteer assistant at Portsmouth for a year. After Portsmouth, I went to Cranston East for 1 year, and then I was at LaSalle as the offensive coordinator under Jeff Marcone for 5 seasons. And then was hired here, like I said, as the head football coach here at Cumberland High School. It's my 11th year here. So, starting pretty young and, had my run here at Cumberland High School, and it's been a good run so far.
Great. So last year, you guys finished the season 10-2. Obviously, you had a tough loss to Barrington. And then the next week, you moved on against your rivalry game with Woonsocket. Again, another tough loss. How's it going this year, putting the season together? And then, how do you get the guys to move on from last year?
Yeah, I mean, last year was obviously a great season. Starting 10-0 was awesome, and we matched up against a really good, really talented Barrington team in a Super Bowl. Game came down to the wire, which was a great football game. It's hard when you lose a game on that weekend, and then you got really 1 day to prepare and then get everybody back together to play on a Thursday. It's difficult, and I think as a staff and as a full team, it was tough to really get everybody back together, regroup. There was injuries that occurred. So Thanksgiving, it is what it is, and I know it was a rivalry game and all that, but again, it's hard to be mentally focused and get back into it when you just lost a heartbreaking Super Bowl, 3 days prior. So that's a difficult part of the scheduling, but that's, I think, a story for another day. As we move on, I think the loss in the Super Bowl really motivated our guys even more. They understood what it took to get there and the hard work and effort that went into it. And our offseason was really, really strong. Our guys showed up all the time, You know, if they weren't in a winter sport or a spring sport, they were lifting weights and getting ready to go. We had a really good summer and a really good preseason camp. So, you know, I think it added motivation to the group. You know, I try not to really touch on last year. I went into our locker room the other day, and you know, they had the kids printed out a sign with the scoreboard from the Super Bowl. It wasn't something we did as a staff for motivation. It's kind of themselves going out and motivating themselves with that. So, you know, I think it sits in the back of their minds of ending the season on not the best of notes, but I think we're ready to move on. And you know, again, what happened last season means nothing. You know, doesn't mean anything for the upcoming games, or it doesn't even mean anything for week one, even though we have a rematch with the team that we played in the Super Bowl. So our guys are ready to go, and we're ready for this, you know, 24 season.
Great. Yeah, and that's good to see, right? Self-motivating, that generally comes from the top.
Right.
Coaching staff down. So.
We try to promote as a staff, you know, on elite teams, the players lead from within. So, you know, our coaching staff obviously tries to lead, but we want our players to lead the team. We've seen that over the last handful of years, and I think that's why we've seen the success we have.
Great. So let's see. You lose probably one of your best players in Andy Ray, probably one of the best all-around players in the state. You know, he's off to URI to play baseball. You know, how do you replace a guy like that who had over 200 carries, just under 1,500 yards, and 14 touchdowns?
Yeah, I mean, obviously replacing Andy's it's not an easy task. You know, but you got to kind of move on. And the one thing I think our staff does a really good job of is getting young guys ready to play. Andy was banged up last year. He had a torn labrum, missed a couple games. And when he did, Ty Troiano, who was only a sophomore at the time, stepped in. And Ty rushed for, in 2 games, 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. You know, so he's coming in to take the reins now as the junior. And, you know, so it's never easy to replace a guy like that. You know, 2 years ago, we had to replace Pat Conserve, who was a 4-year starter, 3-year All-Stater, captain. Now he's playing at URI. So it's never easy to replace those guys, but you got to get the young guys ready to step in. And I think with, you know, Troiano, Manny Reyes, Sean Taylor, and Jaden Rabbit, who are kind of fielding the running back reps, they'll be able to step in. You know, and it's always nice when you got number 9 back there. You know, you got Evan Spencer back there still, who's, you know, 6 foot, 215 pounds at quarterback, who could run downhill too. You know, so again, replacing Andy is not an easy task, but I think our guys are ready to step up and, you know, take the reins.
Yeah, that all obviously comes with experience in developing, right, the lower, you know, the JVs, the freshmen, and you know, so they could step in. You bring up Evan Spencer, obviously a 3-year starter. You know, he put up big numbers last year, 120 carries, 784 yards, 13 touchdowns, almost 500 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. I would assume you'll continue to use him the same way you did, both as a dual threat with his arm and his legs.
Yeah, I mean, Evan's a special player. You know, he's going to be a 4-year starter for us. He started his freshman year for us at DB and receiver, and then the next 3, obviously, you know, at quarterback. But like I said, he's a 6 foot, 6'1", 215-pound quarterback, so he's not the easiest kid to bring down. You know, last season he put up good numbers, and he didn't play in 3.5 games for us due to an injury. So, you know, Evan could do a little bit of everything. He could run the ball. He could throw the ball. He's a very, very cerebral, smart quarterback. You know, he could play all over the field. So having him back under center is huge for us. You know, and again, replacing Andy, now you still have Evan that can run downhill and do some of those things too. So it's always nice when you return that guy. You know, we got a younger line coming in front of him. We graduated a handful of linemen last year, but this young line, very similar to the line we had last year. A lot of them played JV last season. We got a couple of young guys, a freshman that's going to be starting for us on the O-line. So you got a really good core skill group, and then we just got to get the line ready to play, and we'll be in good shape.
Great. So let's pivot.
And welcome back to Kevin's Sports Show with Pat. Pat, what happened?
Obviously, you jump right into the season.
There,
open up against Barrington, then you get a game against Hendrick, and I think the 3rd game of the season.
Come up just a little bit short on the interview.
It's back on.
Oh, it's
the most
back on.
difficult
Okay.
schedule in the league. You go up, you're playing, you know, on non-league games up against Reading, Mass, and Salem, New Hampshire, both very good programs. what went into your decision to schedule like these types of nominee?
Yeah, so to be honest, they're actually league games this year. So the Interscholastic League made our schedule this year where, we have to play a minimum of 7 league games. You could play up to 9, and any game could be a league game now. So our 8-game schedule are actually all league games. We're counting every one of the games. We wanted to count every game as a league game, just because, I feel like you go into a non-league game, or you're preparing the same way, the risk of injury, all that. So we're treating them all like league games, and they are going to be league games. When we had the ability to make our schedule and make some of our schedule, we really wanted to challenge our kids. We wanted to get on the road a little bit, let them experience some different atmospheres. So we're going to Reading, Mass this year, who is traditionally one of the better teams in Massachusetts. Great atmosphere up there as well. They do a great job. So it'll be fun to go up there this year, and then they come to us next year. And then Salem, New Hampshire is one of the top teams in New Hampshire. I believe they were top 5 ranked the last couple of years in New Hampshire. So they're coming to us this year, and we're going to them. So again, another opportunity for our kids to travel. I think it gets them ready for when they're going to play college football, and they're playing at a Division II or Division III, and they got to get on the road for a 2-hour trip and play. So, we wanted to make a tough schedule, and when you look at our schedule, I think you open up with Barrington, who obviously was the Super Bowl champs in our division last year. Henderson, who was the state champs. We close out with North Kingstown, who was in the state championship game. Mm-hmm. Every team on our schedule, minus 1, I believe, was in the quarters or semifinals or a state championship game. So we did want to make a really tough schedule. I think for a public school, we probably do have one of the hardest schedules in the state. And we wanted to do that. We wanted to challenge our kids and make them rise up and, see what they can do. And we're excited for it.
Great. And I think I saw Max Preps has you ranked 3rd.
Yeah, I believe the Max Preps rankings 3rd based off probably last season in returners, which, like I said, we don't put much stock into that. There's preseason picks and all this, and like last year, I think we were picked to finish one of the worst teams in the league, and we went out and went 10-0, went to a Super Bowl. And this year, I know some people are picking us to not do very well neither. So that stuff means nothing, for us. We enjoy when people pick against us and say we're not going to be very good, because I think it puts a little chip on our shoulder.
Sure.
And I think every year we've done a pretty good job coming out to one of the top teams in the league. So, again, yeah, we're not going to put much into the rankings, but I know they have us up there.
Sure. So, WON, we have, I think we have 4 games scheduled. We'll be broadcasting your game September 20th versus Hendricken, obviously a big one. October 4th versus Cranston West. And I think we have the following week versus Salem, New Hampshire, and then we wrap up, obviously, the Thanksgiving game rivalry against Woonsocket. So, again, Coach, appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy. So good luck this season, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you during the games.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks.
And that was Cumberland coach Josh Lima with Pat Holland in an interview yesterday. When we come back, we're going to have Lincoln High School's coach Sean Cavanaugh on with us. Thank you for listening and watching to Kevin's Sports Show with Pat Holland, 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, OneSocketRadio.com.
ON 1240.
State Line Service and Tire Center is a third-generation family business that believes in repairing your vehicle properly and efficiently the first time. In addition, they provide a full complement of preventive services like checking batteries, belts and hoses, exhaust, headlight restoration, emission testing, and engine light pop-ups. Their ASE-certified technicians are right up to date with the latest technology. Vehicle problems are their business. State Line Service and Tire Center, 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket, 765-0146.
Woonsocket Door Sales can handle all types of projects, from the simpler residential installations to the more complex commercial projects. They install, service, and repair. Garage doors are also an important facet of home and business security, since garages contain some of your valuable items like vehicles, tools, and small equipment. Visit their website at woonsocketdoorsales.com and see a gallery of designs and styles, as well as testimonials from their satisfied customers from many surrounding towns. Woonsocket Door Sales, 1 Biltmore Avenue, Cumberland, 767-3448. Their reputation for sales and service is ironclad, just like their doors. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448.
When you have an emergency leak, or maybe even worse, a fire, remember this name, 24 Restore. Say it again, 24 Restore. You may not need them today, or next week, or even a month from now, but at some point when you do, it's got to be 24 Restore. 24 Restore is the leading full-service restoration partner for commercial and residential properties throughout New England. When you need water mitigation, fire restoration, or even mold remediation, 24 Restore is your one-stop shop for all of your restoration needs. They'll handle it all seamlessly with your insurance company, so you don't have to worry. So remember, 24 Restore New England, they're there when you need them, 24/7, 365 days a year, at 1-855-280-3060, or via the web at 24restorene.com.
And welcome back to Kevin's Sports Show. Thank you again, Pat, for that great interview with head coach Josh Lima. We are now joined by head coach of Lincoln High School, Sean Kavanaugh. Coach Kavanaugh, thank you so much for joining us on this lovely Saturday morning.
Absolutely, Kevin. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're part of our first annual high school preview show here on ON Radio. And, Sean, we're going back and forth a little bit, but I got to ask you about the injury fund game only because we had Burrillville coach on at the top of the hour, Gennaro Ferraro, and I read Brendan McGear's article today in the Blackstone Valley Call-on-Times. Gennaro was very blunt and upfront, so was it Brendan McGear. What did you think about the injury fund game yesterday? Gennaro did not like it.
Yeah, it's a new experience for us. We figured, it really is a glorified scrimmage. We try to tell the kids it's an opportunity to practice, prepare. We try to mix a game environment with really a kind of a structured scrimmage. So, you take what you can out of it. We were fortunate to put a few points on the board, but it is what it is. It's kind of really just another step forward.
Right. When I first heard about the running time, I was just wondering how you could even, get into your offensive sets and things like that. But again, like you said, time to put the pads on. Gennaro has said that, he thinks he got more out of joint practices and scrimmages than yesterday, but I guess good to put the pads on, like you said.
Yeah, and as a coaching staff, it gave us a little bit of game experience, but mentioning the running time, we felt we had a drive going, and we were thinking about personnel, but by the time they get on the field, it was the end of the quarter. Right. So I can see where there's definitely some positive and negatives for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Sean, I'm joined here by my co-host, Pat Holland. If you say hi to Pat for us.
Hi, Pat.
Hey, Sean, how are you?
Great, thank you.
So we'll get into it here. So you were co-champions last year with Middletown in D3. You graduate 12 seniors, which is quite a few. Now you're getting bumped up to D2. How do you see that transition going? Do you think it's going to be a big difference in play for your team or?
Well, I talked to Brendan about this the other night, saying, we feel good about our culture and our foundation as a program, but the talent has moved on. It's a compliment. We got moved up, and the players that were here that had that success have moved on. So now the new guys have their time and their opportunity. But as we said last night in the team huddle, whoever we play, they're in high school, you're in high school. We're the same age. We all work out in the summer. We're all giving our best effort. So it's really about having a good mentality. But it's going to be really a tough challenge to compete because of the skill, the coaching, and the experience that some of these teams have. So it's definitely going to be a little bit of a grind for us.
And you do return three starter quarterback John Nickel. And I know we did a game last year. I forgot who you guys were playing, but Jaden Rodriguez, he showed some great flashes and speed last year. How are those two players developing for you this year through your camp?
Yeah, they're definitely integral parts of our both offense and defense. I mean, John is just a tremendous competitor on the field, both sides of the football. And Jaden's one of these multi-sport athletes that come out and just have skills that just stand out when they play. So they're both starters since freshmen, and like I said, we're leaning on them, and we have other multi-sport athletes that have come out for the team and trying to find their way. So they're providing us some leadership at the same time. So it really is a bonus to have players like that who can go out and get us started.
That's great. There's with a quarterback, in Nickel, there's no substitute for experience for sure. Hey, Sean, real quick, how long have you been the coach at Lincoln?
So this is my 10th year now as head coach, and 23rd overall as an assistant. I started in 2000 with Howard Catley and his program, and took 2 years off when my children were born. But I've been at it ever since, and I really still love it. So it's amazing to have to count the years.
No, that's crazy. So, congrats on 10 years and 23 coaching. So it's a labor of love at this point for sure, right?
Absolutely.
You sound like Texas, where you're in it for the six-figure salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that even comes into play.
No, it really doesn't.
Not when you count the hours we put in, but that's when you really remember how much you love it, when you get together with the staff and the guys and the kids, and we do it every day. We really would, around the clock. We love it.
Yeah, no, it's labor of love, and if you count up how much you get paid per hour, don't do that.
Right.
Pat, you have a question for Sean, for Coach?
Yeah, Sean. So we have your opener next Friday, or Kevin and Brendan. Brendan will be there versus Tolman, who's also moved up to Division II. What do you see out of them as you begin your preparations for them?
Well, Coach DeLawrence does a fantastic job with his athletes. They're going to come in with, some really skilled players with speed all over the field. We kind of have to really make sure we have our assignments down against them, because they can break a big play and turn the game. We've seen it happen to us in the past. Again, they're moving up because of their success and because of their program. So we know it's going to be a battle Friday night that really could go either way. It's going to come down to really making the least amount of mistakes, I think.
And I did read the article that Brendan wrote. There's a bunch of former, like yourself, D3 teams that are moving up to D2. Is that like almost half of your schedule this year? Is teams that were D3 last year that could bump to D2 this year? So there's a lot of familiarity.
Yeah, there is. And we have. I think football in Rhode Island is really doing a wonderful job across the board. I think everybody's numbers are growing, and I think we have tremendous dedicated coaches. So every program really seems to be on the rise. So it's a compliment to the battling teams like Coventry, Middletown, Tolman, who are just out there trying to, give it their all, and they've been rewarded. Some people don't see it that way, as moving up. And so there is familiarity. Even our two teams who are playing out of division, Johnson and North Providence, are strong teams.
Yes.
Who are going to have successful years. So there's no easy night on the schedule, that's for sure.
You just mentioned that the numbers are growing in the state of Rhode Island, and I don't know if you have a theory on this, because the numbers nationally are down in football. But and I agree with you. When I look around to the different teams that we're covering, and I see the rosters, the numbers are going up. So why in Rhode Island, in your opinion, are the numbers going up, but nationally they're going down?
Well, again, selfishly, I think we need to pat the coaches a little bit on the back and say they're doing a good job, and we're all, I think, in it for the right reasons.
That's
trying to provide the boys the best experience they can. And, not everybody's going to get on the field when you can only play 11.
Right.
But if you have a team of 60 and they're out there every day in practice and they're learning about adversity and teamwork and building some character, I think there's so many positives there that everybody kind of wants to experience that. So I think I really would attribute it to that, to really having the best experience for the boys when they're out there.
No, that's great, and to see it statewide, percentage-wise, like you said, the numbers going up. That's a tribute to the staffs throughout the area. So I do have one more question for you, though, Sean, before we get going. And I don't know if this is a better question for Greg or for you. How is the press box situation there? Any ideas? And will your coaching staff be able to go on top of the box?
Well, it's still I can't believe we have to revisit the story of what actually happened with that. But things have been in motion, with Greg O'Connor as our AD.
Yes.
If it needs to happen, it's going to happen. He'll find a way. And we have made progress with some of the electrical work and the new system in place. So, we're not 100% up and running, but like I said, come Friday night, I think it'll be quite an atmosphere for football, and I do think we'll be up and running.
That'd be great. And for those that don't know, there was just this rogue storm basically that came through last year and kind of just knocked it over. Am I wrong with that, or is that pretty much what happened?
That's exactly what happened. Very similar to the Wizard of Oz. It literally picked up the press box and just moved it.
Yeah.
It was very, very strange situation, and we were lucky nobody was around, nobody got hurt, but very unique.
Yeah, and I know just because of everything, you and I went back and forth, and Greg and I were going back and forth late last year, and unfortunately we had to change games. We couldn't do a Lincoln game last year because of just everything was topsy-turvy with the situation, and obviously you got your games in, but we just couldn't get in there. So we do have you twice this year, and that's always schedule in flux as well. And if you get a home playoff game, things like that, well, hopefully we can pick that up. But we do have you this week against Tolman and coming up. And then we have you on Friday, October 25th. You mentioned North Providence as a tough team, and that's the other game we have, October 25th against North Providence. So it should be two good games that that Brendan and I get to cover for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Fans should definitely tune in because I think there'll be a lot of good competition on the field with both of those games, and I'm sure your whole slate for this year. But we're really looking forward to a good game come Friday night to kind of kick things off for the season with Tolman.
No, great. Looking forward to it. I'm sure I'll be in touch this week as well. Sean, thank you so much for joining us here on Kevin's Sports Show with Pat, and wish you the best of luck this season.
Yeah, well, Kevin and Pat, thank you both for having us, and thanks for promoting football in Rhode Island. Our players really appreciate it, and best of luck this season.
Thanks. We love doing it, and we appreciate the support that all the teams do give us. So thanks again.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Take care.
And that was Lincoln High School coach Sean Kavanaugh. Wrapping up three coaches today. We are in the process of trying to reschedule Jeff Paiva from North Smithfield and Charlie Bebo from Woonsocket and try to get them on another time this season. But before we head to break, three interesting calls, Pat.
Yeah.
From Gennaro Ferraro. You had mentioned you had worked with Josh Lima yesterday, and there was Coach Kavanaugh from Lincoln today. So we are able to cover Butterville, Lincoln, and Cumberland, not necessarily in that order, of course. But what are your thoughts from the coaches?
Yeah, I mean, all three, obviously, good feedback. I mean, I obviously enjoyed my time with Josh. I think he obviously seems to have a great program up there. Just the numbers speak for themselves.
When you talk about numbers, he has 97 players.
97 players on his roster. And that's really without even getting into we had conversations off the air about, where are you developing down? Are you getting out with the Pop Warner? And he's like, not really. Like most towns, it's kind of like two separate universes, right? But he's tries to offer as much as he can and get them involved. But they've built a culture there that is, kids just want to come and play. They're keeping more kids in town rather than losing players to the LaSalles and the Hendrickens.
Right.
And so that goes a long way.
You see this occasionally, Pat. You hear me talking about Massachusetts sports a lot, but Cumberland has developed that culture. Lincoln also developed that culture, especially in baseball, but their football culture is strong. Butterville will, they all occasionally lose players still, LaSalle and Hendricken, whatever, but Butterville's history of football is just incredible. So it's great to see, the public schools able to hold on to their kids. We talk about, Taunton and softball, it's in Massachusetts, able to hold on to their kids and just, continuously produce these college athletes. So it's great to see. So read into it what you will. Last night's injury fun games with the 4 10-minute running time quarters. I don't know how much the coaches really got out of it, but Woonsocket did beat Tolman 14-8 last night. Lincoln beat Cumberland 16-7. Butterville over Johnston 14-13. And North Smithfield lost to Pontigansett 27-7. North Smithfield will have 2 of their games, and we'll have 3 of Woonsocket's games this year. North Smithfield no longer a co-op. They were co-oping with Mount St. Charles. They are standing on their own this year. So we're going to take one final break. When we come back, we will open up the phone lines for you, 401-766-1240. We'll do a quick preview of the Patriots opening up tomorrow. Any of your thoughts on high school football, Patriots, Red Sox, phone lines will be open for you. We'll be back right after these messages on onradio.com.
ON 1240.
Stress-free car shopping is what you will encounter at Tasker Buick GMC of Woonsocket. In stock is the latest Buick and GMC models like the Buick Encore GX, Envision, GMC Sierra 1500, Acadia, and Terrain. Tasker Buick GMC of Woonsocket has a wide selection of pre-owned automobiles. These vehicles undergo many point checks before going on sale. Plus, they come with a warranty and an auto check certified history. Check out the entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars online at TaskerBuickGMC.com. Tasker Buick GMC, Thornton Drive, Woonsocket. You will be satisfied.
Automobile construction and design continues to change, so it's important that auto body shops remain current and certified in aluminum repair and able to reproduce the entire color spectrum. Michaud's Auto Body is a certified Class A auto shop staying current with the new technology. The use of aluminum in construction has made vehicles lighter, and many of the new metallic paints require the tri-coat process, 3 layers to get the perfect match. Michaud's Auto Body, a second-generation family business. 430 Privilege Street, Woonsocket. 769-1983.
If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them, Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
And Michael's Meats this week has fresh grade A chicken drumsticks for just 88 cents a pound at Michael's Meats, open 9 to 5. Monday through Saturday. Okay, welcome back to Kevin's Sports Show. I'm Kevin Callahan, joined by Pat Holland. Pat, in our final segment here, fantastic of the high school coaches to call us. I really appreciate that. But why don't we just jump right in the time we have left, and we want to hear from you if you have any thoughts on anything. Red Sox, Patriots, high school football, Bruins, whatever's on your mind, feel free to give us a call, 766-1240. Pat, Patriots open up tomorrow. Let's just jump right into there. Your thoughts going up against the Bengals? Are they not playing their wide receivers? That'd be nice if they didn't.
They haven't. It hasn't really come out yet.
Yeah.
It looks like they might not play, but
yeah,
I don't know. I can't see that happening, but we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
At this point, I don't know what to expect.
I do want Drake May. We went over it last week. I want Drake May starting. Everyone's saying, well, what if Brissett gets hurt? Well, okay, so he's going to get hurt in the first quarter. So May's going to play in the second quarter. Start him, run him out there. They say, well, May only looked better in the preseason games against second stringers, but Brissett went up against second stringers too.
Yeah.
So, hey, we do have a call on the line, so let's go to the call and let's see who's there. Hello, who am I joined by?
Good morning, Mr. Callahan. It's Marty. How are you?
Good. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? Who was that again?
It's Marty Crowley.
Oh, hey, Marty. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great show as always. Appreciate the love for high school football that you guys continue to go out and do. And looking forward to having you not only in Cumberland but continue to broadcast schoolboy football.
Oh, thank you. No, it was great. Our first annual high school preview show, and obviously, Pat was able to do the interview with Josh yesterday at Cumberland. That played out great, and should be a great year, an exciting time of year, isn't it, Marty? Not just for football, but you as the athletic director, you got a lot of oars in the water right now, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's great to get football back. Last night had a huge crowd last night for the doubleheader. Bartleby Johnston, a 2-point conversion as time expired, and then we played Lincoln in a very competitive game. But our girls soccer program, rematch of last year's state title game, beat Mount Hope. They get a game with LaSalle today. Volleyball's off to Barrowville today. Field hockey, cross country's off and running. Boys soccer. So middle schools are also going. So it's great to have kids back in the building. It's great to have our student athletes competing in education-based athletic setting.
Yeah, and I always think this is the absolute best time of year too, weather-wise. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible the weather you guys have had to start your outdoor seasons as well. This is great.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, this is the proponent for all those people who want to move either softball or golf to the fall and get it off the spring. This is their main point with the weather, right?
Exactly. So really quick, Marty, I know your girls soccer team, they won states last year, didn't they?
They went undefeated, 17-0-2. The only two ties were against Mount Hope, and as I just stated, we had them opening night down in Mount Hope with a 3-1 victory. Emma Kutzel, the Gatorade Player of the Year as a sophomore, lost her junior year. Injury has returned.
Yep.
And some great freshmen up front, a lot of returners. So big test today. Like I said, they're playing in LaSalle at noontime, so it's a big test for our girls program right out of the gate.
No, that's a huge program, huge game for you. Pat is our resident. I don't know if you've met Pat yet, Marty, but Pat's our resident soccer guy, so he's all over this.
Yeah, Marty, your girls program's been great for the last several years, but Kukal is a great player. I've seen her play in club and in high school, and unfortunately she had that injury last year, but to see her get back and get healthy, obviously you guys should have a great season. And in the girls, that Division I league is just stacked. You got Mount Hope, LaSalle, North Kingstown. I just saw them the other night. They played Pilgrim and beat them 11-0. Pilgrim's obviously having a very down season. They've lost a lot of great players themselves over the last 2 years, but North Kingstown is stacked. It should be a good year for girls soccer for sure.
Yeah, you said it, the girls' side is the gauntlet. There's you really got to bring your game every night, but you guys just mentioned too about like not losing people to parochial schools or private schools.
Yes.
For that matter. That we have a lot of our kids stay, which is a testament to Coach Hoxie and our program, and again the education in Cumberland. It's a great district to get educated in, top to bottom, from elementary school to the high school, and it's the value of a great public education is what it is.
No, absolutely, Marty, and the culture, has been built at Cumberland. We mentioned it, and we had Coach Kavanaugh from Lincoln, the culture at Lincoln High School, and and Coach Ferrara from Burrillville, and the culture over at Burrillville. So it's great to see, withstanding longtime coaches, staying put, building the culture within the programs as well, and to keep bringing it back because with the choices are out there: LaSalle, Hendricken, Saints, and Fian right over the border.
Yeah, you said that Coach Kavanaugh, Coach Ferraro, top-notch guys. Plus top-notch educators as well. Both being teachers within the district, and Lincoln. Greg O'Connor runs a great program, athletic program at Lincoln. Lindsay Lacey is now taking over the reins for John Abadi at Barlow. So a real good. Both strong academic and athletic schools as well.
Yeah, no, great to see. So, now that the fall season has started, Marty, the winter preparations already well underway.
Oh yeah, basketball schedules are soon to be released, and we're rocking and rolling. We're ready to go. So
no rest for the weary.
Nah, it's all good though. It's good. It's the joy. It's the joy of high school athletics. So
excellent. Well,
guys,
will we be seeing you next week when Cumberland plays Hendricken?
Yeah, we'll see you in a couple weeks, right? Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We got your spot all set up for you. We'll
Beautiful. Love to hear that. Thanks for the call, Marty. Appreciate it.
Great show, guys.
All right, bye. Marty Crowley, the athletic director for Cumberland High School, joining us at one of the very first few weeks doing the show. Marty sat in studio. We've done a game with Marty. He was former Attleboro girls basketball coach, and just what did they say? One of those all-around real good guys.
Sure.
To have. So Cumberland High School soccer. It's tough. Pat. You and I were trying to find. Weekly, the balance. I love covering the local things, but I'm a huge Red Sox fan, a huge Patriots fan. So I don't want to dismiss what Cumberland girls soccer has done. State champion, to have the Gatorade Player of the Year as a sophomore.
Yeah.
get injured. They loses their junior year, they come back their senior year. Most likely a D1 athlete, usually a Gatorade Athletes of the Year, are looking to go on. I don't know. That's
I
just
think
a
she. It would have been good to ask him. I think she has. I think she has already committed.
Made her commitment.
It would make sense at this point. Yeah, she's a phenomenal talent. She's been a phenom since probably since she was a freshman there. I mean, she plays for a great club team, and they've had several other players. Their goalie's a top-notch goalie. Obviously, that's my daughter's position, so we're more in tune with that. But yeah, and then they have, just a well-balanced team and a well-coached team.
And that's the key with and they do enough, like Marty said, to keep the kids in the program. And not let them go to the other schools. So as we start to wrap things up here on Kevin's Sports Show, we start off our high school football coverage next Friday night with Tolman invading Lincoln. So that'll be a great game starting at 6 o'clock here on WOON 99.5 FM 1240 AM OneSocketRadio.com. And Kevin's Sports Show, Pat and I will be back next Saturday as well, and hopefully recapping a Patriots win or previewing how they could possibly win their first one the next day. Red Sox sitting 5 games out of the wild card, have fallen behind the Seattle Mariners now.
Yeah.
I had them. I said it last week. They needed to go. What did I say? 18-6 or something like that. They need to go, in my opinion, 17-4. They got to get to 88 wins.
They're all done. It's over. It is over.
I'm gonna hold out, Pat, because
it is over.
I'm pretty much with you. But they got to go 17. They got to win 17 out of their last 21, in my opinion, to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and they play the Yankees 4 times.
No problem.
Yeah.
So for Pat Holland, I'm Kevin Callahan. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next Saturday, and hoping that you can join us next Friday night for high school football here on WOON 99.5 FM 1240 AM and OneSocketRadio.com. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON